Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. My name's Mike Amos. His name's Bill Rice Jr. and we're talking to you on a Friday from down under our studios on South Brandon Street, Troy. Rice, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. You look sharp. I like that suit.
Well, I have a little engagement I got to go to after my show today, and wanted to congratulate the Brantley Bulldogs. The girls have won another state championship, so congratulations to her. And Titletown just gets another big
title.
Yeah, that's right.
Good. Congratulations, Brantley girls.
And you know, they just do it over and over and over. Their softball records are about to get like long as Skipperville is in baseball.
Well, there's something to this thing called tradition.
Yes, sir.
It matters. So it makes it easier, but they did it.
And then on a sad note, the G.W. Long's girls lost in a 3-game series against Pisgah, and that's what they're going to end their season 32-7. Pretty good. And so they had a great run at it, and they went all the way to the championships.
And today, the Troy Trojans softball team gets their chance to shock the world like the basketball team almost did against Texas A&M. They're playing Clemson, who a lot of people think should have been a number 1 seed at a regional, not a number 2.
Yeah.
That's the ACC champs, and I think they are 41-6, Mike, something like that.
Pretty good, I think, yeah.
Well, we weren't expecting to get in the regional anyway, so if you get in it, you might as well play a great team like that.
No question about it. Play the best, and, you know, just like they did in basketball. And, you know, I can see Troy being tough. You know, Leanne Johnson, the youngster from Brantley, you know, she's the pitcher, and she's got a great opportunity to really show her stuff today.
Sure does. Not a bigger stage. I'm sure it'll be on TV on ESPN, and big crowd of Troy folks, I hope, goes up there.
I know it, yeah. Of course, like you said yesterday, you got a chance to go barbecue all the way. And I could see it happening. Get you a barbecue from Hooks or some ribs, then go on up north of Troy to the barbecue house and get you a barbecue sandwich with pulled pork
to go.
And then you're moving all the way up to past
almost to
past Prattville, and then it's called
there's a little place on the left called Jim's.
Jim's Famous Barbecue. It's located in Billingsley, and you can't miss it. And you keep after you eat great. You get that big deluxe. Man, I don't think it gets any better than that. And then going up to the game, enjoy the game, and then on back home.
And then after the game, if you still need one more barbecue outing, you need to go to the original Dreamland.
That's right.
Where for those who've never been, it's off of McFarland. You turn at the McDonald's coming into town or leaving town, and there's a little country road that goes up there about 1.5 miles, and you turn right, and there's Dreamland.
All right, this could be Mike Amos coming in from Grayton Beach. Hello.
Hey, morning.
Good morning to you. And of course, last night, Mike, I saw a very good young, and I'm talking about young, Charles Henderson High School team, and I thought it was great. And the atmosphere was good, and the alignment. I tell you, I saw them line up as well as I've ever seen them lined up on defense. They were always lined up in the right place, and that's telling you a lot about a young team.
Yeah, you said the coaching was impressive. They lined up in the right places, seemed to know what to do. a good sign. They played a very good Park Crossing team with some great players. They lost 15-7 against a bigger school from Montgomery.
Yeah,
So
against a team that's loaded, they dressed probably close to 90 players. And,
oh my goodness!
Yeah, and they're a top-notch 6A team. And I'll tell you something about it. What tickled me more than anything has tickled me in a long time. The backup quarterback for Charles Henderson is Bo, and well, let me see here.
You start worried about these names of these young kids.
Believe it. I can't believe it.
It's Mizell's son.
Mizell's son, Bo Mizell, and I might hold on. I might not make it through this.
He threw a touchdown pass.
And it was a beautiful pass, Mike. Bo Mizell came in. He's a backup quarterback, it looks like, and he's going to be pushing him hard because he looked good. And he dropped back and threw a ball that was the defender had two people around him, and he jumped up and made a catch. I don't have that guy's name. It was number 7 for Charles Henderson.
Made the catch.
But Bo Mizell.
Yeah, I was listening to some of the broadcasts by Rick and Bubba. I mean Wally and Neil.
Yeah.
They, I think, said the Charles Henderson quarterback got hurt.
Okay, yeah. But he came in and really did a good job, and he's tall, big kid. I didn't even know Mizell had kids that were that old. Were that mature, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And
didn't they have two twins?
Yeah, they had two twins each. I mean, they had boy and girl twins, and then girl and boy twins, girl and girl twins. Or girl and girl, boy and boy, and girl twins. Yeah,
y'all know about that.
And they're cheerleaders, and those cheerleaders were the best. I'm telling you, I've seen those Charles Henderson cheerleaders for years and years. Hey, that might have been the best looking cheerleader group. 22 of them, sharp as a tack, and they were doing the. They were active the entire ball game.
Good report.
They got some real leadership.
Let's get some excitement and enthusiasm behind this program, and
nothing wrong with
turn it around in a hurry.
Nothing wrong with what they've had in the back, but this is the best I've seen. 22 outstanding cheerleaders, and they look good. But back to the football, I was really impressed with the way Charles Henderson ran to the ball. They were much smaller group of guys, a much younger group than the Park Crossing. But buddy, they got at you with those headgear. Boy, they swarmed the football, and I know the coach had to be pleased with the way they played, because now the final score was 15-7, and
16-7.
Well, 16-7, whatever. They got a safety late, so yeah, it was 16-7. But really played well, and they, like I said, they got at you, and they on offense they've got some signs of great runners. I mean, some good-looking young runners. Probably 3 or 4 of them that look good at times, and.
Well, that was the silver lining of last year. Is they went through a rough season. But they got to play a lot of young guys, and then some of those young guys did jump off the screen at you.
And I'm sorry I don't have this guy.
I feel like the key to Charles Henderson is just improvement. If you win 2 games, I guess you improve off your 1-win season last year, and then year for that, or you 4-6, 5-7. I mean, it's been 3 straight losing seasons, so it's a lot to rebuild, to say the least. How many players did they draft? I'm curious about that.
Charles Henderson dressed a lot of players.
Yeah, they dressed 50 players. They say 55.
How many people did Park Crossing bring?
About 90.
And how many
they
fans?
Had 3 busloads. They did. They brought a pretty good crowd. I tell you, the crowd was not bad. In fact, I went to one of Charles Henson's last ball games, and there was more people there last night than there were that last game. I think I really believe this guy's going to turn it around. Not this year, but in the next couple of years. He's got a lot of young players, and but if he can ride the shoulders, and hopefully this kid, and knowing the coaches, they'll develop this Mizell kid, and he'll be tough. He's already about 16 and 10, and he's just in the 10th, going to be just in the 10th grade. He'll be 6'4", 6'5" one day at a quarterback. Not saying that that's going to happen.
That's what I would do. I would try to develop a 10th grader if I was a new coach.
Well, I tell you what, he looked good, and I know Eric Mizell, my good friend, and of course he's up there with the Lord, no question, and he was really a great fan of Charles Henderson High School, and I know he would be so proud to have seen his son perform like he did.
And he knows a little something about football too.
That's right.
His daddy did.
Yeah, he was a great player. He really was. He was an all-conference center at Troy, and still sad he's no longer with us.
Mm-hmm. And the other brother is the starting center for the Charles Henderson.
Oh, like his daddy.
Yeah, that's right. And I saw several good players, that looked real good. There was a linebacker that played, number 15, that played outside linebacker, was very impressive. And there was, there were several players that shined last night for Charles Henderson because Park Crossing had a good team, a real good team. And they kept moving the ball back and forth, and Charles Henderson wouldn't let them in.
They would bend but didn't break. Huh?
That's right. They would bend but didn't break, and it's again made me feel good to see a team that was so much organized. They were all lined up on the defensive side and the offensive side, and they just were
didn't get all these stupid penalties and personal foul penalties.
None of that. In fact, Park Crossing got a bunch of them, and Charles Henderson just kept hanging in there, and like I said, 16-7 against a very good Park Crossing team.
Yeah, I remember when Park Crossing started, they hired the great Smitty Grider, and Smitty.
That's right.
Started that program. Of course, Smitty's down at the new Dothan Northview High School. I can't remember their name, but I don't know who their coach is now. But I know they got developed by a good coach.
Yeah.
Well, I wish maybe they'll replay it on Troy Cable, and I want to scout out this defensive lineman for Park Crossing. That's one of the top 5 prospects in the state, supposedly, that's committed to Alabama.
Yeah. And now let me tell you who was in the stands. A good-looking.
I'm sure they could play it after the show today.
Mike, I want you to say something here. One of the best-looking football players in the stadium was a kid that played for Charles Henderson, but now plays for that bunch up there in Montgomery.
Park Road?
Yeah, Carver. He plays for Carver now, Mike. You remember that kid?
Yeah, that big lineman or something?
No, he's a linebacker, and he's
well, let's get him back.
He's the one that like Tennessee.
It's Russell. It's Russell. His last name is Russell, and he is the kid that transferred from Charles Henderson to Carver, and he's on Alabama, Auburn's, and several lots lists.
Oh. So
he got another year, and I don't know if he'll. I would think maybe he would play the last year of his. He won't opt out or anything like that. So
he still lives in Troy. But
he must. He was at the game. I don't know if he still lives there, but he was at the game, and he was sure pretty. Now,
well, maybe our new coach can put a bug in his ear and say, "Come on, we want you back."
Yeah. Well, it's official. Again, everything from the cheerleader group to the team and the way they were set up and the way they ran the football and the way they moved the football on offense. I was very impressed with several of those kids. And let me tell you, it don't look so bad at Charles Henderson High School.
Good.
Especially
that's never been the problem from what I've always heard of Charles Henderson. It's not the athletes, it's the discipline and the coaching.
Yeah, and I
dropped off so much.
Well, you could tell they were. You didn't see anybody out of line.
Personal foul penalties and just personal fouls come back to coaching and discipline.
Yeah.
you know, that's one of those type things you can correct.
Well,
Yeah,
Mike,
I've always noticed that you don't see that at Alabama. I mean, it's very, very rare that you see a player get a penalty for yapping after a play or something like that. Same with Auburn, really, though. And when you do see that, it's a red flag that makes you wonder about the discipline in the program.
yeah.
I mean, the mental penalties are like the offsides and the procedure penalties and stuff like that. You know, that's you know, more on the players, just not focusing. But personal fouls, you know, that's on the coaching staff. It's the culture you got to change.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Well, I tell you what, we've got a lot to talk about today.
I'm on Zoom. I've done hair and makeup. If anybody wants to put me on.
Mike's done hair and makeup. Already gone through that part of it.
I was out of my blush this morning, so I might not look that good.
Well, we've got a lot to talk about, and we shouldn't have.
Oh, the Troy Trojans baseball team, man, they're just red hot.
Did they win again last night?
Yeah, one at Lafayette. We're up 6-0, and then I go back and check the score, and they're only up 6-5 going into the ninth, but they won the game.
That's great. So, what was the final score? 7-6 or what?
No, 6-5.
6-5.
Good thing they got all those 6 runs. Sounds like they might have gone to the bullpen, and the bullpen let them down. But,
Yeah.
Who was
Yeah, they've got a freshman pitcher named Amos that's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, you got him, and then you got the number 2 guy, Ortiz, I think is his name, that's good. I tell you, if you got 2 good starting pitchers in college or in high school, you got a chance, man. And it looks like Troy does.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that Lafayette's got a really cool stadium. They got like boxes downstairs underneath the stands for I guess some of their really high paying boosters.
Yeah.
And you can actually see them drinking beer and having cocktails while.
Is that what they had to do to be big in the program? Yeah.
No, it's a cool setup. They have the boxes below where you kind of see everybody having a good time down there.
Yeah. Well, it is definitely a great place
Lafayette,
to be.
that's where my sister-in-law, Molly, who now lives in Troy, is from, grew up. She can tell.
I bet she knows a lot about it.
I remember when, y'all probably remember this, Michael might not, Mike does, is Coach Bryant took a team to play back then Southwest Louisiana,
Yeah.
which is Louisiana Lafayette. And it was just really surprising. Why would Alabama go and play in this town at this stadium? But they did. That's why last year I got all fired up when Alabama had to cancel their game in the Jerry World Dome against USC. And Alabama Stadium wasn't going to be ready because they were renovating it. I said, Troy should get Alabama to come to Troy and play. And everybody laughed at me, as they probably should. But I said, hey, it's happened before where a team like Alabama comes to a smaller venue. It happened when Alabama went to Lafayette 30 years ago.
Well, guess this.
Well, James Stallings took his team down there.
Well, that might have been it. I bet that was when
It sure did. Mike, Alabama's going to play South Alabama. Can you believe that? Can you believe that?
happened.
Or
That's
Auburn.
right. They're going to play Alabama.
Alabama is going to play in football?
No, they're going to play them in football. No, wait a minute.
That's Auburn is.
Oh, is it Auburn instead of Alabama?
Yeah, Auburn in 2025 is playing.
Okay,
South.
Auburn, that's right. And won't play Troy, but they'll play South Alabama. Can you believe that? I think some people need to get into it.
Get our politicians behind it.
I mean, I'm talking about from the governor on up. Troy should be able to play either Alabama or Auburn at least year in, year out.
Maybe Wes Allen can do something.
I tell you what, if he could, he'd go ahead and get his election. I promise you. But I'll tell you this. Now Troy is also here. Troy has added another piece to the future football schedule. It has a 2028 date with Clemson. If I live to see it, they're gonna play Clemson in 2028.
Well, either way, man, I'll carry your ashes, and if you upset them, I'll run on the
I
field,
tell you
run on
what,
the
I
field.
tell you what, do something special if we ever play either one of that bunch.
Haven't we played Clemson though? We played them. We had a chance to move ahead of them late in the game.
Oh,
didn't we? Tell us about that, Michael. You remember?
Yeah, I remember it very well.
Brandon Silvers was phenomenal in that game, and then the big play was Troy had stopped them on I think third or fourth down on the goal line, and the ball bounced out. I think Deshaun
On
Watson
the back, it was on the back of a Troy player.
and a big defensive end from Troy grabbed it and ran all the way down the field for a touchdown, but they called the play dead.
It was what it is, and it happened sometime in that kind of situation. It was
But they blew the
yeah,
whistle.
that's right, inadvertent.
But didn't
whistle.
the replay show that the play should not have been blown dead?
No, that's right. But they said it was an inadvertent whistle.
But that was a 14-point play swing.
Yeah, it would have been.
I would have put
I
Troy
think Troy
tied.
would have put Troy up,
tied
yeah.
or
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I remember after the game, they were interviewing Dabo Swinney, and they were asking about Troy's quarterback, and he kept on referring to Silvers as Joe Montana.
well, again, so many things going on, and the Trojan.
We already got lines out for Alabama's Labor Day game against Miami. I was off from 13.5. It's 17.5.
Oh God!
Alabama's favorite against Miami.
Oh gosh. Well, that's not a good omen for folks from Miami.
Well, that tells you that you set your line. That means you need to bet on Miami because you think they're being undervalued by 4 points.
Also, the Clemson Tigers are a 3-point favorite against Georgia in the Duke Mayo's Classic in Charlotte.
Okay, I'm going to take Miami plus the 17.5, and I'm going to take Georgia plus the 3.5 right now.
LSU at UCLA. I'm calling for an upset here. I think UCLA will probably beat LSU. LSU's -3 at UCLA. Chip Kelly had UCLA playing a lot better last year.
Yeah, he did.
Ole Miss -7 against Louisville. That'll be a really good game to start the season as well.
All of these are first week of the season games?
Yep, September 4th.
Those are great games. LSU and UCLA, I didn't know that was coming up.
This is crazy. They're going ahead and doing these games throughout the year. This is FanDuel Sportsbooks. They've already got Alabama's lines throughout the season. On the 18th, they got Alabama at Florida -15. That's crazy.
Oh man. That is.
And when Auburn travels to play LSU on October the 2nd, LSU's a 4-point favorite. Yeah.
War Eagle. The Auburn Tigers getting ready for their 2021 football season. Stay with us. We're going to be giving you all the highlights of Auburn football today. Hey, War Eagle. You get fired up this morning, guys. Get fired up for your Auburn Tigers.
I want to hear you sing the song. Do you know the words to the Auburn fight song?
If I knew the words, I'd sing them.
It's War Eagle, fly down the field, never to conquer, never to yield. War Eagle, win for Auburn power.
No, War Eagle, fearless in blue.
Fight on your orange and blue. Rah, rah, rah,
I
rah.
used to know it. You know who knew it was?
Your daddy.
My daddy, and he would win some bets sometimes, or he'd lose a bet, and he had to sing the Auburn fight song, and he did it. He knew it. He also sang the old Rocky Top at Joe Blunt's funeral. That was one of his best buddies.
Oh, really?
The
Yeah.
world's biggest Tennessee fan.
Yeah. I know that one pretty good. Oh, Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee.
The dad
Rocky Top, Tennessee.
had to really like
Rocky
somebody
Top,
to do that.
Tennessee. You got to hold your nose on the latter part of it.
Is Auburn consider themselves Eagles or Tigers? I can't ever figure it out.
I don't know. Well, let me tell you this, Mike.
They're War Damn Eagles, and then they're Tigers.
I don't know. Let me read this to you and see what y'all get out of it.
College football that has two different names like that.
Yeah, it's an oddity, that's for sure.
Let me read this to you and see what y'all get out of it. I think it's 2 games with Clemson. It says Troy added another place to its football future schedule with the addition of Clemson to its 2028 slate. The Trojans will open the season with the Clemson Tigers on September the 2nd at Memorial Stadium at Clemson. In the second future game between Troy and Clemson on the books, with Troy playing a visit to Death Valley on 2025. So 2025, the contest will be the third meeting between the two schools, with Troy putting a scare into the Clemson group in each of the first 2 games.
So we're playing Clemson in 2025 and 28. So Mike, you only got to make it 4 more years.
That's right. And so again, Troy playing the Clemson Tigers. And I tell you, I like my buddy at Clemson. He'll play you.
Now, what you think? Dabo might be the head coach at the University of Alabama by then. Certainly by 2028.
25, I'd say Saban will still be there.
Yeah.
Be perfectly fine with me if Dabo Swinney followed Nick Saban.
You know, Alabama-Auburn line, this is FanDuel, their betting site, Auburn-Alabama line for November the 13th. It's Alabama 18.5.
Well, you're gonna be surprised.
18.5 over Auburn at Auburn.
I think you're going to be really surprised. Auburn's going to be a lot better than you think
I
they'll
would
be.
jump on that.
Auburn's going to be much better than you think they are. You know, before we get off, we'll jump back into these schedules and so forth. But you know, Troy's got to be very impressed with the job that Bess Mullins has made. You know, she brought in a great staff, and you know, she's done a super job with the softball program. And it says here now,